There is a restlessness that lives inside your person now, a constant motion that will not cease, as if the very earth beneath their feet has become unstable, unable to bear the crushing weight of everything they feel for you. They move through their days pacing, turning, unable to find stillness or peace. When this connection first began, they believed themselves capable of maintaining control, of managing the feelings that stirred within them. They thought they could keep their emotions neatly contained, compartmentalized away from the rest of their life. But the reality they face now is vastly different from what they imagined. They are not in control. They are overwhelmed, completely and utterly consumed. The sheer intensity of what they feel has ambushed them, catching them entirely off guard. It is as though they have been swept up in a current they never anticipated, pulled under by waves they cannot resist. They feel like a fish gasping for air on dry land, desperately seeking balance in the midst of an energy shift that appeared without warning, transforming everything they thought they understood about themselves and about love. Deep within the hidden chambers of their heart, all they truly want is to hold you close, to wrap their arms around you and never let go, to kiss you with a sincerity and depth they may not have shown before, when they still believed they had time, when they still took your presence for granted. They crave the simple, profound warmth of being near you. They long for the comfort of your presence, the peace that comes from sharing space with someone who knows them, truly knows them. Yet every single time that desire rises within them, every time they feel pulled toward you with an almost magnetic force, they are immediately reminded of the boundaries you have established. You are slowing down the wave of their emotion. You are not allowing them to sweep you up into their intensity without first proving something real, something solid, something that goes beyond words and feelings into the realm of tangible action and genuine transformation. They know with absolute certainty that you are energetically done. This is not merely a feeling or a suspicion. It is a knowing that reverberates through the connection between you, impossible to ignore or deny. You have stepped fully into your worth, into a recognition of your own value that changes everything. And the acknowledgement of that fact unsettles them deeply, shaking the very foundation of how they have approached this connection. It is driving them nearly insane because they can see with painful clarity the very real possibility of you walking ahead in your life without them. They watch as you move forward with strength, with clarity, with a dignity that commands respect, leaving them behind in the very place where they once left you for so long. This thought haunts them in every quiet moment, appearing in the spaces between breaths, in the silence before sleep, in the early morning hours when defenses are down and truth cannot be avoided. The truth stands before them, clear and undeniable. You are finished with breadcrumbs. You will no longer accept excuses or empty words that promise change but deliver nothing. You have grown past the point of waiting endlessly, past the exhausting cycle of tolerating behavior that does not match proclaimed feelings, past the painful practice of hoping for something that never materialized no matter how long you held space for it. For them, there is now only one way to win you back, only one path that leads to redemption and reunion. Action. Real, deliberate, undeniable action that speaks louder than any words ever could. They must show, not just say. They must step forward with physical proof that they have transformed, that they are ready to close the gap between promise and reality without hesitation, without delays, without the endless cycle of excuses that characterized their behavior before. And still, even as they recognize what must be done, they are watching from a distance. Your person stands on the outside looking in, observing the inevitable unfold before their eyes like a story whose ending they can already foresee but feel powerless to change. They hate the thought of you moving forward without them. The image of you building a life, creating happiness, and discovering joy that does not include them is almost unbearable to contemplate. Yet it feels as though that very possibility, that nightmare scenario, is precisely what life is pressing upon them, forcing them to confront. This separation, as painful and excruciating as it is as much as it tears at them daily, is actively shaping them in ways they could never have anticipated. It is forcing them to confront truths they once skillfully avoided, realities they were too comfortable or too afraid to face when you were still accessible, still waiting, still holding the door open. This distance between you is becoming the push that makes them realize with startling clarity that they cannot continue living in denial. If they truly want this connection, if they genuinely desire to build something real and lasting with you, they must take accountability for everything they failed to acknowledge before. They must own the ways they hurt you, the times they chose themselves over the relationship, the moments when they could have shown up but chose comfort instead. It is no longer about what they feel in the privacy of their own heart, in the silence of their own mind. It is about what they do, how they move, the choices they make when action is required and comfort must be sacrificed. Despite all their inner turmoil, despite the chaos of conflicting emotions that rage within them, your person feels an almost overwhelming protectiveness toward you. It is instinctual, primal, rising from a place deeper than conscious thought. It is as though their heart cannot let go of the need to keep you safe, to shield you from harm, even from afar, even when they themselves may have been the source of pain in the past. This protective instinct surprises them with its intensity, revealing depths of feeling they did not know they possessed. As they dive deeper into this inner journey of reflection and transformation, they find themselves constantly revisiting the past. They examine actions taken and not taken, choices made in moments that seemed insignificant at the time but now reveal themselves as pivotal. They replay words spoken and words left unsaid, opportunities missed because they were too blind or too stubborn or too afraid to seize them. They are haunted by flashbacks of the moments you shared together, memories that surface unbidden throughout their day and night. Moments that now replay in their mind with a bittersweet sharpness that cuts deeper each time, each memory both a gift and a wound. Those memories are no longer casual recollections that bring a simple smile. They have transformed into something more profound and more painful. They are lessons written in the language of regret. They are reminders of what was real and authentic between you, and simultaneously stark warnings of what they stand to lose forever if they do not rise to meet their responsibility, if they do not step into the fullness of what this connection demands from them. And yet, through all of this, they can feel your guardedness as clearly as if it were a physical barrier between you. Your distance is undeniable and impossible to ignore. It is not simply physical, not merely a matter of geography or circumstance. It is energetic, emotional, and spiritual. You have drawn a line in the sand, a quiet but firm declaration that you will not step backward into old patterns, that you will not compromise the ground you have gained through your own growth and healing. This shifting you has startled them profoundly. For the first time in this entire dynamic, they are taking the separation seriously. The reality of potentially losing you has moved from abstract concept to concrete possibility, and the weight of that realization is forcing a reckoning within them. They wonder constantly, obsessively, where you are and what you are doing. They think about who you are becoming without them by your side, what version of yourself is emerging in this space of independence and self-focus. The silence from you is deafening in its completeness, and it makes them nervous in ways they have never experienced before. You are no longer sending signals across the distance that once connected you. You are no longer offering glimpses into your life, your thoughts, your daily experiences. That absence of communication, that withdrawal of the attention and energy you once freely gave, has left them restless and anxious. They are unsure of how much time they have before you slip beyond their reach completely, before the window of opportunity closes forever and you move so far forward that returning becomes impossible. The separation has given you strength, and they can feel that strength radiating from you even across the distance. They sense with an almost psychic awareness that your focus is no longer on them but on yourself, on your own growth and healing, on your path forward. And though this realization makes them fearful, though it triggers every insecurity and fear of loss they possess, it is also paradoxically what inspires their awakening. The recognition that you are no longer waiting, no longer entertaining half measures or accepting crumbs of affection forces them to face their own patterns with brutal honesty. They are being pulled toward accountability as if drawn by gravity itself, urged by forces both internal and external to step into maturity, to step into meaningful action. They cannot hide behind excuses any longer. The comfortable refuge of justifications and rationalizations has crumbled, leaving them exposed and without the protection of denial. The truth stands naked before them, demanding acknowledgement and response. Still, underneath all the fear and regret, underneath the anxiety and the desperate urgency, there is love. It is raw and imperfect, messy and complicated, but it is undeniable and real. Your person longs to bridge the gap that has opened between you, to prove through consistent effort over time that they have changed, that the transformation they speak of is not merely a fantasy or a manipulation, but something genuine and lasting. They know in their bones that words are not enough. They know that time is growing short. They know that the weight of their inaction, the burden of their continued hesitation, may cost them everything that matters. And that knowing, that potent mixture of longing and regret and the urgent need to act, keeps them pacing through their days and nights, restless and unable to find peace, waiting for the courage to rise within them, waiting for the moment when they can finally do what they should have done all along. My love, you changed my reality in ways I could never have imagined, in ways I am still discovering even now. Before you entered my life, my world was smaller, dimmer, and often weighed down by my own fears and shortcomings, by limitations I had accepted as permanent features of my existence. But your faith in me, your unwavering support even when I did not deserve it, and the way you offered your unique perspective on life altered everything I thought I knew about myself and about what was possible. You opened a door to a brighter, deeper version of myself that I had been too blind or too stubborn to see waiting there. You challenged me in ways no one else had ever dared to, and that alone made you unlike anyone I had ever known or will ever know again. No one had ever tried to push me the way you did. No one had ever cared enough to hold me to a higher standard, to refuse to accept the limited version of myself I was comfortable presenting to the world. And for a long time, I did not know how to accept that gift. I did not understand that your challenges came from love, from a vision of who I could become that was clearer than my own vision of myself. Running away from you was never really about you, though I may have tried to convince myself otherwise at the time. It was about me, about my own limitations and fears. A part of me clung desperately to laziness, to selfishness, to the comfort of staying in a world where nothing was truly asked of me, where I could coast through life without ever having to confront my own potential or my own failings. That part of me feared change with a terror that feels irrational now but was overwhelming then. It feared the responsibility that comes with genuine love, the expectations that naturally arise when you are truly seen and truly cared for by another person. I thought if I kept you at a distance, if I maintained walls between us, I could avoid facing my own flaws, my own inadequacies, my own deep-seated fears of not being enough. The truth I can now admit is that I did not want you to have expectations of me because deep down, in places I did not want to examine, I worried I would disappoint you. I feared that if you truly knew me, if you saw all of me clearly, you would find me wanting. But as I have grown, as this separation has forced me into a confrontation with myself I could no longer avoid, I have come to realize something profound and transformative. I needed those expectations. I needed to be pushed beyond my comfort zone. I needed someone who believed I was capable of more than the small box I had trapped myself inside, someone who could see potential in me that I had long ago stopped seeing in myself. And that someone was you. Looking back now with clearer eyes and a more honest heart, I can see so clearly how wrong I was about everything. I resisted what was actually a gift of immeasurable value. I mistook love's guidance for pressure and control. Instead of leaning into the growth you were offering me, instead of trusting the process and trusting you, I turned away. I chose the familiar pain of limitation over the uncertain promise of transformation. I was wrong. So very, very wrong. Yet through all of this, as time has continued its relentless march forward, not a single day has passed without me thinking of you. Even in moments when I tried desperately to distract myself, to focus on other things, to move on as everyone told me I should, you were always there. You existed like a quiet echo in my heart, a presence that would not be silenced or dismissed, constantly reminding me of what I once had and what I foolishly let slip away through my own fear and immaturity. I was an idiot not to realize all of this sooner. The regret weighs heavily on me, a constant companion that grows more burdensome rather than lighter with the passage of time. Sometimes it feels unbearable to think of the opportunities one missed to love you more fully, more honestly, and with the openness and vulnerability you deserved from the very beginning. The weight of missed chances, of moments I can never reclaim, presses down on me in the quiet hours. Still, even drowning in that regret, there is something else that rises alongside it. There is gratitude, deep and unshakable gratitude for the time we did share together, for every moment we were given before my fear drove us apart. What we had was not ordinary. It was magical in the truest sense of that word. It was rare and precious, a true gift from God or the universe or whatever force guides the connections between souls in this world. Every laugh we shared, every moment of closeness when the world fell away and only we existed, every comfortable silence that needed no words to fill it, all of it meant more than I ever allowed myself to fully admit when I had the chance. There is something undeniably different about us, something that has always felt sacred and set apart from every other connection I have experienced. Our bond transcends mere physical attraction or fleeting emotion. It is spiritual in nature, otherworldly in its depth and resonance. Even from the very beginning, from those first moments of meeting, the connection between us felt instant and natural, like two puzzle pieces finally finding their match after searching through countless wrong fits. Sometimes, in moments of reflection, I wonder if our love was crafted in the heavens long before we even met, designed with intention by something far greater than us, woven into the fabric of our destinies before we drew our first breaths in this world. It feels that way to me now. And I cannot shake the belief, the deep conviction, that the universe has a plan for us, that this is not the end of our story but rather a chapter of transformation that leads to something more beautiful than what we had before. Even now, with all this distance stretched between us, distance cannot erase what I feel. It cannot separate the truth of what we share or diminish the reality of this connection. I feel you in my dreams, where you appear with a vividness that makes waking painful. I sense you in the quiet spaces of my day, in moments of stillness when the noise of the world recedes. Sometimes it feels as though your presence wraps around me like an invisible embrace, even when you are miles away, as if my soul knows where it belongs regardless of the physical space that separates our bodies. I long to see you, to hold you in my arms again, to look into your eyes without barriers between us, and finally tell you all of this in person. I long for that moment when I can speak these truths aloud, when I can let my voice carry the weight of everything I feel, not just write words that can never fully capture the depth of what lives in my heart. But for now, in this moment of continued separation, these words must be enough. They are insufficient, I know, but they are all I have to offer across the distance. Please know, with every fiber of my being, with everything I am and everything I hope to become, that I will never stop loving you. You are the love of my life. That truth has become undeniable to me, impossible to rationalize away or minimize. You are the person I want to share every secret with, every joy no matter how small, every sorrow no matter how deep, and every quiet, ordinary moment in between that makes up the fabric of a life lived together. Life is not meant to be lived halfway, held back by fear and hesitation. And loving you has shown me that truth more clearly than anything else ever could. I want to love you fully, openly, and without the fear that held me back before. I want us to create a life together that reflects the beauty and depth of what we already share, a life that honors this connection and gives it the space to flourish as it was always meant to. I believe we should talk, truly talk, one-on-one, soul to soul, without pretense or performance. I do not want to hide behind excuses or distractions anymore. I do not want fear to dictate what I can give or how I can love. I have reached a place of healing, a place that has softened the hard edges of who I used to be, worn down the defensive walls I built to keep everyone, including you, at a safe distance. And in that healing, I have found myself ready, truly ready this time, ready to love you again with a new heart, a stronger heart, a heart that finally understands the magnitude of what it has been given. I do not know with certainty what the future holds. None of us can see that far ahead, and life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. But I do know this with absolute conviction. You are my future. You are the one I see beside me in the days to come, in all the tomorrows that stretch out ahead. The one I want to laugh with through joy and cry with through sorrow, dream with in the quiet moments, and grow old with as the years pass.